Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Takeaway Tip Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, May 30th, and I am your host, Ramona Remisat. I'm the Angelic Guidance Coach. I'm also a speaker and co-author of 2 Amazon bestsellers, 365 Days of Angel Prayers and 365 Ways to Connect with Your Soul. And I see Jen's already here. Thanks, Jen, for hopping in. I'm just going to give it a few seconds to see who else might be joining, and I'm really excited about today's episode because I'm going to share something that is super meaty, super juicy, and it is an easy, no-brainer way for you to get clear, reliable, and accurate angel guidance. And this is something I think pretty much everybody wants because, face it, in life, in business, there are always moments when you are faced with choices, opportunities, decisions, and it could be gut-wrenching to know which direction to go in. Hi Priya, welcome. We're constantly wondering, should I do this? Should I do that? Shitting all over ourselves, right? Trying to figure out a way to make these decisions or choices, and we can drive ourselves nuts. We can go outside of ourselves for answers, right? We often will ask a loved one, a family member, a friend, what they think you should do. And then, you might post it on social media. You might do the old flip a coin until you get the right answer, and I know you've done it. I've done it too. Okay. No shame in that. But, there are these moments when we get caught up in like, what direction do I go in? And is this the right move for me? And what about this? And what about that? And you get all caught up in your head, and it would be really nice and very handy to have a foolproof way to be able to get, like I said, that clear, reliable, and accurate guidance without having to get all into an inner turmoil about that. And so that's what I want to share with you guys today. And really, this isn't really a skill, let's say, that you have to learn. It's more of, a remembering, because honestly, we are all born with a very accurate inner GPS, right? That inner knowing that comes from a divine source. And we're very in tune with it, especially as youngsters. So if you're around young kids, really pay attention to them because they are amazing with this. What happens though over time is that sort of gets turned off, and it's not really through anybody's fault. It's just kind of the way things are. And I just want to quickly give you an example of this so you can understand what I'm talking about. So, as a young child, maybe you were with a mom or, a caregiver or somebody, and, maybe you had to go into a building or somewhere and you just had a bad feeling about it, right? Or maybe something about it just felt off. You couldn't really define what that was. So that's your inner GPS going off. Right? And then, your parent or whoever you're with is kind of dragging you in there. Maybe you balked, you didn't want to go in, and they're like, come on, stop being so silly, let's go. Right? Or same thing, maybe, your mom bumped into somebody she knew on the street and she's urging you to say hello to this person, and you're kind of cowering behind her legs. And, hey, Donna, you're afraid of like saying hello to this person. And again, it's that inner GPS is going off. Something, is there. And yet your parent is like, stop being so silly, say hi to Mrs. So-and-so. So after time and after hearing stop being so silly over and over again, you kind of come to this realization that those, that inner GPS, those feelings, thoughts, ideas that are coming to you are maybe not so accurate, or maybe they're not to be trusted. So you kind of turn that off and you get away from listening to that. And so what we want to do is get back to that. We want to get that nice and strong again. So like I said, you're not feeling like you always have to go outside of yourself for answers, because that's a drag. Hey, Carol, thanks for popping in, right? You don't want to have to keep going outside of yourself when you're wondering, what should I do? And is this the right choice? And what about this decision? And this opportunity's come up, but I don't know, is that the right one? And all of that, right? So I want to give you today, like I said, a super easy, no-brainer way for you to get clear, accurate, and reliable angel guidance. And really, it's a tool. This is even before you really start developing your own way to tap into your inner guidance. That's kind of the next phase. But what a lot of people do when they're starting out is they will rely on a tool, because you might get feeling like you're receiving guidance, but you'll second guess it, right? You will wonder, well, is that really guidance? Am I making it up? Is it just because I really want it? There's a lot of question marks there, and you kind of go back and forth. It's like a tennis match, right? You're like bang, 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 back and forth. So it's really handy to have a tool, something that's like foolproof that you don't have to question. And so that tool is to work with angel cards. Super easy way. And there's so many different decks. Now I want to kind of walk you through some key things that you need to know when you're working with a deck of angel cards, okay? So first and foremost, where do you get these said cards? It's a lot easier now than it was maybe even 5 years ago. These are readily available in big box bookstores. You know, in Canada, there's Chapters, there's Indigo. In the States, you can go to Barnes & Noble, go into the New Age section, bing, bang, boom, you're gonna find them. Okay, now the only thing with that is they're usually sealed in plastic wrap. If you were to go to a, crystal shop or a New Age store, places where they sell like crystals or raw, stones or books, that are kind of self-development and sort of spiritual books, candles, those kinds of things, that's where you're going to often find the cards, and they usually have a demo deck out. So that's an open deck. You can pick them up, you can open them up, you can feel and look at all the cards and get a real sense of them. Okay, so you can also buy them online too, but I really like to go and see them and touch them and feel them and see which ones I'm drawn to. It's kind of the same way I choose stones and crystals, right? They kind of, call me as opposed to me choosing them. So you can go to the store, like I said, pretty readily available. It's not like you have to slink down a back alley and go to some kind of sketchy place in order to obtain these cards. They are fairly readily available. And of course on hayhouse.com, you'll find all of Doreen Virtue's cards, Radleigh Valentine that she's paired up with, some of the other authors that she's created decks with, lots and lots of different opportunities there to find the cards. Now, once you get these and you get them home and you rip off the plastic wrap, right? The first thing you're going to want to do is clear them, because let's face it, a lot of hands have touched these, during the manufacturing process, the shipping process, all of that. So it's very much like when you buy a crystal, you want to clear that energy out and infuse it with your own energy. And they all come with a guidebook that walks you through how to do that. It's really simple. So you're going to want to open that. You're going to want to follow through on the first step to clear it. Then you're going to want to infuse the cards with your intention. What is it you actually want to use these things for, right? Is it you're going to give readings to other people? Is it you just want clear and accurate guidance for yourself? What is that? So again, there's step-by-step instructions in the guidebook that will walk you through that, and it's super duper easy. After that, see this guidebook? Get rid of it, okay? Not throw it away, but put it away, because here's what happens. Everybody's excited, they want to start working with their cards. So, what you might do is wake up every morning and ask, angels, what do I need to know today? And you shuffle, and there's many ways you can shuffle, right? And what I do is I just kind of like, and it's kind of hard to show you here, I just kind of do this, like over and over and over, until one is like kind of poking out at me, that catches my attention. And sometimes it takes a while. Oh, see, now this one's kind of poking out, right? So I pull that one. There's no right and wrong way to do this. Sometimes they'll fly out of the deck. Sometimes before I even, take the cards in my hand, I open the lid and one's flying out. Or as I'm shuffling, one's flying out. So I always want to grab those ones. Other people, will do like a shuffle like this and see, again, like this one really poked out, right? So I might grab that one. Some people will put them into piles, and then put them back together and then draw the top card. So it doesn't matter. By law of attraction, you're always going to draw the exact card that you need, right? And as you do that though, like look at it. Don't go immediately. What people do is they flip one and right away they're grabbing their book and they're opening it up and they're like, what does the book say? Okay, that's great. The book has wonderful information. But like I said, the point of using these cards is so you don't have to go outside of yourself, right? When you go to the book, again, you're going outside of yourself for those answers. Why not hone that intuitive muscle? Let's get that nice and strong, so you can start to really trust it and not second guess all the inner knowing that you already have. So as you draw a card, you look at that card, see what you go to first. Is there a word on it that jumps out at you? Is there a color that jumps out at you? What does that color mean? Does it evoke an emotion? Or do you feel an emotion when you look at the card, right? What is it that's you're drawn to? And keep probing. So why do I feel that way? And what does that make me think of? And, asking yourself those questions, and things will come up for you, right? And that's how you start to, like I say, build that intuitive muscle. And after you've gone through all of that, then you can go to the guidebook and see what there is. But what you'll find is over time, the more you do this, then you go back to the guidebook, there's going to be a common thread, right? You're going to be in sync with what that book is saying. And maybe there's some new things in there that you hadn't thought of, but that's okay, right? So it's really more based on what you are picking up from the card. And I even tell people when they come for readings with me, whether it's in person or long distance, take a picture of the cards, and I will send them a picture of the cards if they are long distance, and I'll tell them, take some time to look at your cards, because whatever you are picking up from them is just as much a part of the reading as whatever I'm sharing with you. Okay, so make sure you do that. If you're having a reading by somebody, make sure you get a picture of the cards so that you can do that. Okay, so that is one of the ways that you can start to really tune in on your own, strengthen that intuition so that you're not kind of second guessing it or wondering, I don't know, maybe I'm just making that up, blah, blah, blah. You really, what you pick up really means something. So that, like I said, it's no brainer. And I don't know how many times, I've lost count, how many times people will tell me, I felt drawn to pull a card today, and boy, oh boy, was it ever exactly bang on what I needed, or like it was so perfect, or this was like the third time now that I've been receiving this message, right? So like I said, angels will guide you by giving you repeated thoughts, ideas, gut feelings, or showing you or making you hear the same things over and over again. So, maybe you've already picked up some guidance in one way or another, and it happens again, then you pull a card and there it is again, right? So that's that repetition that I'm talking about when they really want you to know something. So I just love, there's so many different cards. I mean, Doreen Virtue is my teacher, so I have multiple decks of her cards, but there's so many other ones out there. So again, I wouldn't really have a recommendation. People ask me, what do you recommend when you're getting started with cards? I really say go and see where you're guided. See which ones jump out at you. One thing I would maybe say is it's a little bit easier at the beginning if you do get a deck that has some words at the bottom, as opposed to just like, I don't know, like a word that might say, clarity or something, you know what I mean? Like then you're like, okay, well, what does that mean? This one has a couple of sentences, so it gives you a little bit more information, and you can again hone in on that and see what is speaking to you through that. Is there a word that jumps out? Is there a thought that comes from that, or whatever it might be? So that might be a good starting point for a deck, to get something that has a little bit of detail on it, just to kind of get you going. But other than that, there is no great beginner deck per se, at least from my point of view. So that would be what I recommend. That's my takeaway tips for today. It's to go and start working with a deck of angel cards. And like I said, you can work with them daily, where you just ask the angels every morning, what do I need to know today? Bing, bang, boom, draw a card, and there you go. It's kind of like how people read their horoscopes every day, right? So they kind of have a heads up, what's coming today, same idea. You pull a card and you see what's going on. You can do a 3-card spread, which is pretty fast and easy to kind of give you a sense of, what's been happening, what's going on right now, and where's this potentially going to lead if I keep following the same path. So it's kind of like a little bit of a story. And then you can get more in-depth if you want to do a bigger, deeper, juicier spread. Like I do every year for my clients, I do a forecast reading, which covers the entire year. We pull 12 cards. Each card represents 1 month of the year, and we go through month by month by month as a forecast of here's some things you're going to need to be aware of, here's some things to focus on, here's what to pay attention to, here's a sense of timing on things, etc., etc. So, you can make them as big, as little as you want, and just play around with them. And then there's decks for specific purposes, for healing. There's, Doreen Virtue has a romance deck to help you. If you're looking about your life purpose, there's a life purpose deck. There's daily, what is it called? Daily messages from the angels deck, right? This one that I am showing you here is angel therapy. There's also healing with the angels. There's flower therapy, all fairy decks working with the energy of the fairies and mermaids and unicorns and all those wonderful mythic and magical beasts, right? So it's really, again, like what you're drawn to. There's no right and wrong. Don't get caught up on that. So does anybody have any questions about working with cards? I'm happy to answer them here while I'm on. And, sometimes people, again, will still second guess things, but what I want to share with you is whatever, like I said, whatever you're picking up as you're looking at that card is coming from a certain place. So don't get second guessing yourself. Okay, that's how you're going to hone that muscle, make it stronger so that you can begin to trust the information you're receiving. That's the biggest piece, guys. A lot of times after I've done a reading for somebody, they'll kind of say, well, I kind of knew that. And I'll say, I know you knew that, but you didn't trust it, did you? You didn't take any next step with it. You didn't act on it. And they're like, yeah, no. They're looking a little bit sheepish, right? So what is beautiful about a reading is it's confirmation, it's validation that what they were picking up is real, right? It's like, you don't have to second guess that anymore. You can trust it. It's okay. So I hope that feels helpful. And if you are watching on the replay, you can post a question. If you do have a question, I'll be coming back and checking the comments. And I would love if you would share this out, please and thank you, because so many people are, like I said, stuck in this second guessing, wondering what step to take. They've got decisions to make and opportunities in front of them, and they're spinning around out of control. And it's really nice that they can have a method to get some clear and accurate guidance around something. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to tell them exactly what they need to do, but it will tell them some things around the situation, maybe some inner blocks that are holding them back that they hadn't considered, right? So there's all of that to think about. And sometimes there is very clear guidance. There's a deck that I use that will clearly say yes or clearly say no, or, you need more information on that or whatever it might be. So I hope that's helpful, you guys. Thank you for tuning in. And be sure to join me through the week, Monday through Friday. Every morning I'm here and I do a live angel guidance message, which is pulling a card and sharing with you the message and also giving you a tiny bit of homework on what that message is about and how you can work with something that day to kind of help things along. So if you'd like to join me, I'd love to have you here. Join me. As I said, it's Monday through Friday. Times vary. It's kind of typically around 11 a.m. Eastern, which is 9 o'clock Mountain, 8 o'clock Pacific. But it's not a hard and fast because mornings are kind of nutty. So, it kind of depends on what's going on. But join me for that. And another great resource that you might enjoy is a free video series I have. It's called The 3 Essential Steps to Getting Anything You Want in Life. And that is available at ramonaremisat.com/free gift. I'll put the link below the video so you can go and grab that. And just be sure after you've entered your name for that you go to your inbox. You're going to be asked to confirm that you really want the videos. That's a lovely thing we have because of spam law. I don't want to send you anything you don't want. But once you open that email and click the confirmation link, then you will get 1 video a day for 3 consecutive days. And they're short, they're simple, they're to the point, but they're powerful if you will put them into action. So I hope you will grab that. And as I said, I hope you also share this information, get it out there, share it with other people so that they can be, working on strengthening their intuitive muscle as well. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have a fantastic day, and I hope I'll see you tomorrow for the Daily Angel Guidance Message. Talk to you soon.